As a business leader, you often have the problem where your sales team complain that they're getting a lot of bad leads from marketing. And then the marketing team would say, oh, we're sending them good quality leads. They're not just closing, they're not doing their job. This is a problem where you then have frictions and misunderstanding between your sales team. Why do you have bad leads and what can you do about it? In today's episode of the podcast, I'm going to be talking about your website and why that can be a problem and what you can do to resolve that problem. And then I'm going to share warning signs that you might be ignoring that can be the reason behind why you have bad leads in the first place. And then I'm going to talk about the reason why you actually get those bad leads. Sometimes those things are out of your control. And then I'm going to discuss how you can improve the lead quality of your website. And I'm also going to share quick wins and some things that you can do straight away to help you improve the leads of your website. So let's start with the website, for example. Why is your website sending bad leads? The problem does not normally start from your website. What I want you to think about as a business leader, if you're into cars, think about a car's filtering system. The goal and the role of that filtering system is to make sure that the petrol or the diesel or the fuel that your car uses does not have bad contaminants. So it kind of filters out all those bad things, and then that kind of prolongs the life and the quality of your car. The same thing applies to businesses. When you have a situation where the leads that are coming to your website by default, or the leads that are coming through your acquisition channel, you're only playing the volume game. It's always good to say, oh, we're getting X amount in terms of growth from acquisition. That is a good thing. But the metric that actually matter is the sales, not the number of website traffic that you're getting or the number of clicks you're getting. So when you're talking about the filtering problems, this is where the problem of getting bad leads starts. When you don't have a good filter. Let's start with the acquisition channel. When you have what is called ideal customer profile. Ideal customer profile is different from personas, and sometimes these are misinterpreted. When you hear ideal customer profile, these are the profile of customers that will come to your business, that they're ready to buy. They fit what your business sells, like your product or your service. They see value in it, so they're definitely your type of customers. And the other thing you need to understand is they are ready to buy. There's this thing in marketing called the 95-5 rule. What this rule means is at any point in time, only 5% of people that come to your website or that kind of interact within the market, only 5% of those people are ready to buy. 95% of them are your ideal customers, but the problem is they're not ready to buy now. So you need to structure your acquisition strategy to make sure that you're talking to those people that are not ready to buy. So when they're ready to buy, they would remember and come to you. But at the same time, you need to also structure your marketing to make sure that the people, those 5% that are ready to buy without any friction. So when I'm talking about the filters, these filters are the reasons you're getting bad leads. You need to make sure that in the acquisition, the top of the funnel, you are doing everything possible to talk to your ideal customer profile, ICP. And within those ICP, you also need to understand that there are personas within them. A good example, you have an organization that is looking to hire an agency, a marketing agency. The person that is going to do the research, that is a subject matter expert to hire that agency, might be an executive or even a manager within the company. That person would then do the research and then present like 3 potential agencies to the managing director or the CFO or whoever is higher up. So what I want you to understand here is the ideal customer profile is that organization. But within that organization, there are personas. These personas are people within the system. Some of them do not have the power to make budget decision, purchase decision. So if you are structuring your top of the funnel, in some organization is different though. In some organization, the person that will do that initial research and do that inquiry will be the actual person that makes that budget decision. So imagine you have two leads. One of them is a marketing exec that still has to go and talk to a senior person to make that final purchase decision. And then the other lead is the actual business owner that has that budget decision making. If those two leads come into the pipeline, one lead is a fit. One lead is ready to buy. So what this means is when the sales team speaks to these two individuals, one of them would just say, oh, I need more information. I need to go and speak to someone, blah, blah, blah. And they might never hear back from them anymore. They're not necessarily a bad lead, but they're not a lead that is ready to buy now. And you don't want to waste your time on that. Your marketing needs to be structured in a way where those leads that are not ready to buy are nurtured until they're ready to buy. That's why you have email and CRM automation systems. That's another topic for another day. But the person that is ready to buy will then speak to the sales team and they will close. So for you to reduce bad leads, the first thing I want you to do is make sure that your marketing team and your sales team are speaking to each other. And there's this thing where we all have aspirations. We say, oh, my ideal customer profile is someone that is an organization that makes $50 million or $50 million in revenue and blah, 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 blah. They're aspirational. They're not your actual ideal customers. Your ideal customer profile needs to be people that you've sold to already. You need to go into your database. You need to go within your business and see that, okay, who are the customers that we've interacted with over the years that are good customers that kind of give us a good margin, that we've made a lot of profit from them. That is what the filter system does. You need to set up a filter system within your acquisition channel, the top of the funnel, the middle of the funnel, and then at the end. So your ideal customer profile, irrespective of that funnel, if you get that ideal customer profile at the start of the journey, they will flow seamlessly through your website, through your channels, to your sales team, and your sales team will close. So the first filter that you as a CEO need to scrutinize, need to audit, is your paid advertising, because that's where you can actually target people that are ready to buy. You can also target them with SEO, AI search, and others, but the paid advertising, either LinkedIn ads, YouTube video ads, Google ads, you can target people that are actually ready to buy. So once you have that filter sorted, and what I recommend is you do an audit. If you're a small organization and you don't have a marketing team, you can hire a growth marketing consultant like myself to come in and look at your acquisition channel and make sure that the filter is set up correctly. You want to filter out people that do not match the criteria of your ideal customer profile and the personas within them. You want to talk to the personas within your ideal customer profile that has budget authority, that has the decision-making authority. The ones that don't have the decision-making authority, you need to also have a system in place to kind of cater for them, feed them and nurture them the right information that they need to give to the people that make that final decision within the business, and then they come to your sales team. That's the first filter. The second filter is your website. The goal of your website is to make sure that the people that are not your ideal customer profile read the content of your website and they are discouraged from contacting your sales team. You need to understand this. In marketing and in SEO, people are just playing the volume game. You actually need to start rejecting some leads, discouraging those leads. The goal of your website is to encourage the people that meet your ideal customer profile and discourage the people that are not. And you can do this by the way you structure your website. The content on your website should speak to the people that are not your ideal customers to know that, okay, this is not for me. And you should speak to the people that are your ideal customers to then encourage them. You have the option of getting them to talk to your sales team directly. You have the option of them filling out a form on your website or booking a demo. All these are options that you have to nudge them towards your sales team. So when you then nudge them towards your sales team, before they arrive to your sales team, you have a form. When you talk about best practices, the best practices is that, your form on your landing page on your website should encourage people to fill the form. you should put enough, you should make it very simple, less questions so people fill the form out quickly, and then you get their details, and then you contact, you either ask them to fill out the form to get a call back, to request a call back, or book a demo, whatever the form does on your website. This form will determine the quality of your lead. If you're getting bad leads, there is a direct correlation with the forms on your website. As I said, the best practice for CRO would tell you that, reduce the number of form fields so you can get more form completion. The more forms that people complete also equals the higher the number of bad leads you will get. So this form is another way to filter away bad leads. So the leads that actually gets to your sales team are the leads that they will close, so they can dedicate their time to getting leads that are high quality, not quantity. Because when you overwhelm them with so much leads, they are stretched thin with their time, and then they won't pay enough attention to those quality leads because they're inundated with calls, and they're discouraged because most of the calls they're getting are irrelevant leads. And then when they do get the quality leads, because they're discouraged and just not feeling it, their enthusiasm and the way they speak to even the high quality leads will make the high quality leads feel like, okay, this is not the right company for me. But if you filter out all the bad leads and the only calls that comes through to your sales team are the calls that are actually going to close, then they're energized, they're enthusiastic about getting those calls. So let's go back to the form. The form on your website, you need to design it in a way that it discourages bad leads from completing it. The best practice would say short form, straight to the point, would increase the volume of leads, increase conversion rate, which is a metric that is good for CRO, but that's a metric that is bad for sales, because the goal is not to increase conversion rate. The goal is to increase the quality of the leads that are coming through. And to do that, sometimes your conversion rate might reduce. This is what I mean. The more questions you put into those forms, not just random questions, the more questions that will make someone that is not your ideal customer decide not to fill the form, the better the quality of your leads. That there's a system in place where you do optimization, you do testing, and this also involves having conversations with the sales team. I'll give you a good example. A few years ago, I was working for a lead generation website. Before I even started engaging with them, I had a meeting with the sales team, and I asked them questions about the customers that are good but they're not ready to buy. I sat on the marketing side and brand side, helped understand all the information that I needed to optimize the form. The sales team are not responsible for the forms on your website. The marketing team is. So your sales team need to inform or work with a freelance consultant like myself. If you need help with your sales team optimizing your form pages to increase the quality of your lead, reach out to me. You don't need to hire someone full-time to do this. But you also need to understand that your ideal customer profile will always change. So the conversation between sales and marketing that I talked about earlier on needs to be something that you do every 6 to 12 months. What has changed with the ideal customer profile? What can we do to improve? So these are the things you need to look at. The filter that I mentioned, filter at the acquisition, paid ad section, filter on the landing page, even the content on your website, and filter on the form of your website before they get to your sales team. So what exactly are the signs that you're getting bad leads? Obviously, your sales team are getting huge number of calls, and those calls are not ready to buy. This is another problem. When those calls and those leads are not ready to buy, what do you do with them? Do you just say, oh, they're bad leads? That's it. You need to remember that you've already paid from a Google Ads perspective to get those leads. So the fact that the leads are not ready to buy now doesn't mean those leads are bad. The best leads are the leads that are ready to buy now. But the leads that are not ready to buy now, you need to make sure that you funnel them, you send them to a nurture process. And that's where your CRM system comes into play. You need to be able to work with your sales team to make sure that the leads that are not ready to buy now are not just ignored and just discarded. They're put into a system that kind of nurtures them and gets them get them to They're not ready to buy, but they're nurtured until when they're ready, and then they remember to come to you. That's what I was talking about earlier on about the 95 to 5%. The 95% that are your ideal customers but not ready to buy right now needs to go into that nurture system where you continuously nurture them. Another reason why your website is getting bad leads is you are optimizing your website for the wrong persona. A lot of time you see websites that are heavily optimized for educational content, which is not bad. They're not optimized for the decision maker. Earlier on, I mentioned about you have different personas within your ideal customer profile. If your website copy is actually optimized for the people that are not the actual decision maker, and your website doesn't have enough information for the people that are the decision makers, then you have a problem. This is the reason why I say that. An executive does a research about your product or service and finds out the information and then wants to present that information to the boss that is the decision maker that will buy your product or your service. Most likely they're going to send them your website link. But if the content on your website is just tailored specifically for the wrong persona within your ideal customer profile, then you have a problem. So you need to make sure that the language, and this has a lot to do with brand as well. So because some websites are just there without actual brand strategy implemented, this is a big problem. So you just need to make sure that you increase the alignment between your brand team, your content team, and your sales team to make sure that every content on your website speaks to your ideal customer profile and the personas within them. So what can you do to improve the quality of the leads on your website, like right now? The first thing you need to do is you need to do an audit. You need to hire someone like myself or get your internal team to do an audit of your paid advertising channel, an audit of your email marketing sequence, an audit of your website. So what I mean here is you have different audits running at the same time. And this audit is to make sure that everything filters out bad traffic, bad leads, and pushes the good leads into play. So your homepage, you need to look at it. You see sometimes where you look at a homepage and you even ask yourself the question, the 5-second question. Does your homepage speak to your ideal customer profile? Does it tell them what, why, and when with regards your product or service that you're selling? Does the case study on your website help the target audience understand that, okay, these people are serving or selling to people like myself? You need to make sure that your website, your contact form, and everything on your website has gone through an audit and it's been optimized for good quality leads. So as a CEO or a founder and you're really looking for a solution to bad leads on your website, you need to make sure that the quality of the traffic that you're getting is quality, and you need to make sure that the metrics that you're measuring is not vanity metrics. A CEO is not interested in marketing metrics. What metric that you're interested in is the sales quality, the quality of the leads coming to your sales. So if there's a metric in conversion rate optimization that is saying, oh, we increased conversion by 80%, that's good. But does that correlate with the sales metric? And the type of messaging on your website, is the messaging too broad, or is it targeting your ideal customer profile? And then I mentioned about the forms as well. The forms on your website, are you optimizing the form for form completion, or are you optimizing the form on your page for lead quality? Those two are different. You can't do both. You either focus on optimizing your forms for quality or optimizing those forms for completion, which is what CRO is all about. I'm not saying CRO, conversion rate optimization and experimentation, is bad, but in some instances, you're really focusing on bad vanity metrics, and that is affecting your business. Ultimately, if you're getting bad leads and the bad leads continues, your company would either go bust or you would need to downsize. So what I would recommend for you to do is reach out to me and let's work together to look at the filters on each stage of those journeys. Let's look at your ideal customer profile. I can help you with the audit of your acquisition channel. I can help you with the audit of your website. And I can help you with the marketing and sales alignment by setting up meeting with your sales team to work with them to design your ideal customer profile and the personas within them, and then optimize your website and your acquisition channel to increase the quality of the leads coming to you. My name is Femi Olajiga. You can reach me on LinkedIn. Just search for Femi Olajiga, FemiOlajiga. And yeah, you can reach out to me and I'll be happy to help you improve the quality of the leads coming to your website and reduce bad leads to your website. Thank you.